Hello, I'm Judy Weber, CEO of First Coast Women's Services in Northeast Florida. We have 4 pregnancy care centers serving the needs of women facing an unplanned pregnancy near and around Jacksonville, Florida. The testimony you're about to hear is from an anesthesiologist, Dr. Mark Monroe, who works in a large hospital in our city. Dr. Monroe first shared this testimony with one of our men volunteers. He wants this story to be told because of the impression it made on him. Dr. Monroe said that there have been other times when women have been brought to the emergency room suffering medical consequences from an abortion. What made this case so difficult for him was what he was required to do as a result of the botched abortion.
I'm Dr. Mark Monroe. I'm an anesthesiologist. One night when I was on call at the hospital, they brought a young lady. She was a very beautiful 20-year-old student from a local college into the emergency room. She had made the decision to have an abortion. During this procedure, even if it's done very carefully and gently, there's risk to perforate the uterus. And the uterus is a very vascular organ, especially during pregnancy, and life-threatening hemorrhage can result. Unfortunately, the practitioner that did the abortion perforated her uterus. And this can be a life-threatening complication. The patient can bleed to death, so they brought her to the emergency room of our hospital and dropped her off and left. The obstetrician attempted to remove the now deceased fetus vaginally, and she was unable to do that. So unfortunately, she had to undergo a major operation, a C-section, to evacuate the baby. She was at risk to bleed to death if that wasn't done. During the C-section, they had a little bit of difficulty getting the baby out, and they had to remove this deceased baby one piece at a time. Arm, legs, thorax, head. It was very, very horrifying. There was another doctor in the room from Afghanistan, and he's seen all the horrors of their conflicts in the Middle East, and he was also very, very disturbed. At the end of the procedure, the doctor asked me to go identify all the parts of the baby to make sure that she had gotten them all. And reluctantly, I agreed to do this, and afterwards, I wished I had never done it. It was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my career. Unfortunately, I've been involved in 3 or 4 cases where there was complications in an abortion clinic. But this was by far the most horrifying to me because this was a well-formed, late trimester male fetus. I could even see the sex of the baby, and this child was dismantled right before my eyes. I've never seen a human being pulled apart like that before. I give this testimony because I think it's very important for women to know that if they decide to undergo this procedure, that this is not a minor procedure. An abortion is a major procedure that has potentially serious consequences. Not only is the baby going to be aborted and die, but the mother can have life-threatening complications and even possibly die as a result of this procedure.
This was a very difficult case for Dr. Monroe and the attending physician. The reason he wanted you to know is that we often think things like this don't happen in Jacksonville, Florida. Perhaps New York or Los Angeles, but not here. The truth is that every year there are more than 7,000 abortions in Jacksonville. Most of them don't end like this one did, but some do. At First Coast Women's Services, we know that a woman has a legal right to choose abortion. If she comes to us, we give her truthful information about all her options. We offer compassionate care no matter what her choice. But there are risks involved in abortion, and both you and she deserve to know.